I'm Kelly Mitchell, and this is Women on Wine TV. I'm so excited about this episode because it brings forth so many things and actually the origination of my love for wine. But on this weekly online show celebrating wine and living your best life, we highlight and sip luscious wines while discovering and discussing lifestyle, travel, and wine. We film these from our California and Washington locations, and we pepper our episodes with fabulous tastemakers from all walks. Joining me is my partner in wine, Deborah Trapin. Welcome to the show, partner in wine.
Hello, darling. How are you?
Hello, darling. I'm fabulous. How are you?
Oh, I am blessed beyond measure.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm so excited about today. Aren't you?
I am. I am so excited because of our topic. I love
Oh
this.
my goodness. Me too. So we're celebrating Cabernet, and it's actually Cabernet Day. Now, depending on who you are and where you are and which celebration you're sharing, you may be celebrating Cabernet Day on August 27th, August 30th, August 29th, or September 3rd. And really, the celebration of Cabernet is, I think, because it's one of the most interesting, most versatile grapes on the planet. It's really, and also one of the most cherished. So back in the, here's my little history lesson. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
I love it. Okay, so in the 17th century, they married a Sauvignon Blanc grape with a Cabernet Franc grape, and born out of that lovely marriage was a Cabernet Sauvignon. Now,
Ooh.
the reason that they did that was because they created this skin that had so much tolerance to weather, it really just produces the most lovely grapes. The thick skins protect what's inside, the nectar that's inside. And actually, it's so funny, in 1990, it was the eighth most popular grape, like most used, most grown, most enjoyed grape. Now it's number one in the world. So it tells you a lot about it. The two best places that Cabernet Sauvignon grows is number one is Bordeaux, and number two is in my backyard, Napa.
In my
I
backyard.
love it. And I love Cabernet. I mean, really, I think this journey of Women on Wine, Deborah, has taken me down so many paths. And I used to be like a devout, very devout Cabernet drinker. And I've tried so many different varietals now. I would say it's still a favorite when the weather is cooler. It's still a favorite though. And so for you, Miss Deborah, I would love to hear. Now we're talking, guys, we're going to talk today about three each of our favorite Cabernets on the planet right now. Of course, we have many more favorites than that, but for this episode, we chose three each. So I'd love to first open with a quote. Wine is one of the most civilized things in the world and one of the most natural things of the world that has been brought to the greatest perfection. And it offers a greater range of enjoyment and appreciation than possibly any other purely sensory thing. And that's from Ernest Hemingway. I thought it was appropriate, right?
I love that. I love that. Hemingway had some amazing quotes in his Too Short of a Life.
Yes, totally.
Definitely liked his
Totally.
booze.
What did you say?
He definitely liked his booze. I'm sure he
Oh,
had
yeah.
lots of wine.
And he was definitely into sensory pleasures. We know that as well.
Woo!
Um, okay, so Deborah, I would love to hear about your first bottle that is in your glass today.
Yes, so in my glass today is this Novelty. Can you see that? Novelty Hill. This is their 2011 Cab Sauvignon. Now, the reason I chose this is because it's their Stillwater Creek Vineyard, and we actually got a chance to tour that vineyard and see actually where the Cab grapes were grown. And I think that there's something really special about the connection you have with a wine once you've been to the vineyard where the grapes were grown. So I would just love to encourage everyone out there who's listening, if Cabernet is your grape of choice, get your tush to the vineyard of your favorite winery, because it will just elevate your level of connection to that wine. It's a beautiful, bold cab. It's light enough, though, that for me, I actually serve it as one of the first cabs of the evening. And I usually pair it with a delicious appetizer, prosciutto, a little goat cheese. During fig season, I like doing a beautiful fig slice, but outside of fig season, I'll use a little fig jam for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, goat cheese can go either way, whether it's red or white, but I think that adding like a little piece of rocket, aka arugula, something that has a little bit of pepper on top, and then a little balsamic reduction on top of that, brings everything out of this beautiful cab. So, have some fun with that. Don't be weenie with the appetizer you make with it. Again, it's Novelty Hill. Their website is Novelty Hill Janik, so Novelty Hill Janik, JANUIK.com, and they're at NHJ Wines on Twitter. And the gentleman who does the social media for Novelty Hill Janik, his name's Don. Shout out to Don. I'm not sure where in the world he is because he's always traveling somewhere else, but he's super fun to engage with. So if you drink their wines or you're thinking about visiting them, definitely give them a shout out online first and have a chat with Dawn.
Awesome.
What do you have going on over there?
We need you to catch up a little bit because I think you said the word Cabernet, which is the word for the show, 4 times during that little introduction.
Oh my goodness. It's
I finally caught up. Okay, and in my glass today I am like in love with this place. Can you see this? This is the Dariouche Cabernet Sauvignon 2012. It is a phenomenal, deep, dark Cabernet with these beautiful dark cherry fruit scents. I mean, it's almost like when you put your nose in the glass, it takes you on this journey. It's got little notes of chocolate and caramel, a teeny tiny hint of vanilla, and it's you can pull these out fairly easy, even for the unsophisticated, still in training wheels nose like mine. So it's just, to me, it's an absolutely engaging, beautiful, long finishing wine that will sweep you off your feet forever. For me, now I'm going to start with my main course because I really think that a wine like this just is so beautiful with the celebration of really fabulous food. So I'm going to pair this with short ribs, and the short ribs that fall off the bone melt in your mouth with the demi-glaze, and that has port in it. So the thing with a port is it's a teeny bit, it's a lot sweeter than a balsamic, but this Cabernet can stand up to just about everything, in particular because of the chocolate notes. There's a little thyme and bay leaves that you should put in there, and it marries very nicely with the sage that you get out of the wine. So absolutely love that. It's the Cabernet fits the bill for this. You can get in touch with Dariouche, and I highly recommend a visit because it's one of the most beautiful experiences, not only from the standpoint of the wine, but the environment, the story, and the experience. If you have an opportunity to pair it, the shopping is fabulous there too. They've got everything under one roof. How amazing is that? So you can reach them at Dariouche, it's DARIUSH.com, and at Dariouche Winery on Twitter.
I love that. We had such a wonderful time at Dariouche. We've had 2 exquisite experiences, so it wasn't just a one-shot wonder. And oh my goodness! So
we'll be back.
Cheers to that, Cab. Woo. Oh yeah.
Cheers to that Cabernet.
Absolutely, Cabernet. The interesting thing about Cabernet, and I think that both of us have had this experience with it, is that there are so many different kinds of Cabernet. Like it's the same grape, but each artistic, like just twist that every winemaker does with their cab. I mean, this, like I said, it can go with a nice, delicious appetizer. You could also put it with beef tartare if you wanted to. And I
Yes.
think that's the beauty of cab is it's so versatile. So my second is, and I'm going to do the main course now. And oh my gosh. So I've only had one bottle of this before, and it was with the same gentleman who gifted this bottle to me. So I can't wait to crack it open. This is a Quilceda Creek 1999 Cabernet. Now this is like when I had the first glass of this, it was, you know, I have an affinity for wine that has cherry notes. I don't know what it is, but it's like I know that if there's cherry in it, I'm gonna like it. So this definitely has beautiful cherry notes in it, and it had a little bit of vanilla the first time. Now it was 1999 is the vintage, but we're probably going to keep this for another maybe 7 or 8 years. So what we're going to have it with is probably something like a pork chop with sweet onion marmalada, like just something that is slightly unexpected. Again, everyone thinks cab and steak. You don't need a red meat option. And so
No, you don't.
no. And what I was going to say when you were giving your beautiful recipe, and that's the second recipe I've given, we pin all of our recipes to our Women on Wine food board. So don't worry, you don't need a pen and paper to write all this stuff down. We definitely share that on our pin board, and it will be in the blog post. Hello.
Yippee-yi-yay.
Yeah, yay. Okay.
Okay, so next up, I have the beautiful Franciscan 2012 Stylist Cabernet Sauvignon. It is, again, we're going with a really beautiful cherry notes. It smells fantastic. It also has some plum, a little bit, I think a little bit sweeter on the nose than the Dariouche, but also chocolate in there, a little caramel, little vanilla as well. And the nose is definitely a little bit more, I want to say it's complicated. It's like a relationship on Facebook. It's complicated, but it is, it will make your mouth so happy, and it has such a long, delicious finish. You also get a little bit of the anise in there, that licorice kind of taste, but it's not overpowering, and it's certainly a nuance. So don't be scared if you don't like licorice. This is not going to turn you off by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm pairing this today with a Point Reyes, go local, Sonoma County, Cheese Cristini. And as Deborah said, this will be on our fabulous food and Women on Wine TV Pinterest board. But what Point Reyes blue cheese is it's a blue that's mixed with mascarpone. And if you want, and you can't get to the Point Reyes area to get your cheese, you can't order it online, you can go ahead and substitute another blue cheese and a little cream cheese to get that recipe right. Also adding some fig preserves on the side, it makes it a delicious, delicious addition to the wine. So use a sweet baguette. Don't go sour on this one. It is just absolutely delicious, and the sour flavor would adversely affect the wine, so stay away from that. But absolutely loving the Franciscan Stylist 2012. Cabernet. Woo!
Cabernet.
Sip on.
You know, I love California cheese. You know, like those commercials where they're like, great cheese comes from happy cows, or whatever their crazy little slogan is. Like where the cows are like roaming the golden hills. It's so true. Like one of my favorite cheeses is Humboldt Fog, and that's from California. And every time I have it, I'm like, I can't believe it's from California. It's crazy. I mean, it tastes French. You know, when you walk to those fromagières in Paris and the little cobblestone, and you're like, oh my God, there's like 500 cheeses in here. That's what it tastes like. It does not taste like it could possibly come from something I could drive to. So cheers to California cheese with California Cabernet.
Woo-hoo. And Point Reyes, yes.
I love it. I would love to go visit them. I wonder if they have it. Do they do tours or anything there?
You know, There's a couple of places that we can go to. I'm not sure about Point Reyes cheese. I mean, it's in the grocery store here, so it's like you don't think about that, so I'll look into it. But
Yeah.
I think Cowgirl Creamery, which is another fabulous place, and I think it's Petaluma, amazing cheese there as well. So we'll have to
Oh,
hook
yay!
up with them.
Please.
Whoop, whoop.
All the foodies say whoop whoop.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and so for my final, oh my gosh, it was so hard to choose three. My
Oh
final,
my God, it was really difficult.
right? So I wanted to honor um, Eric Dunham. So Eric Dunham actually left this plane almost exactly a year ago. So just into October in 2014, he left us here, but he left a legacy of wine and amazing art. So
He's the winemaker.
He's the winemaker. Yes, his dad actually passed away in 2013 from cancer, and then he passed away in, well, if you want to know, you can Google it. I don't want to talk about it. So 2007, Cabernet. This is from their Lewis Vineyard in Columbia Valley. Every single one of these artist series. Now he does the art. He did the art, I should say. Every single one of these, and this is one of those wines. It's crazy. It's, you know, they have the big old wax top.
Oh yeah, I love those.
I mean, it's just, you feel regal when you drink this wine. And I love this in particular when it's been a really long, slow dinner party, and you haven't had too much wine that you don't want to serve a really nice bottle at the end. You know what I'm talking about? Like when
Totally.
you're not, woo! This is what I love to have towards the end of the meal. And so I paired it with a delicious flourless chocolate cake. And
Ooh.
I think that it's, to add the little zing and a little extra, I would definitely do a chocolate glaze and then probably like a little cherry jam or a cherry swirl in there to kind of bring out the cherry in the cab and just kind of take it to an 11. But it is beautiful. It is divine. You can I mean, Dunham Cellars in general has extraordinary Cabernet. They're out in Walla Walla. They're in kind of that weird airport section, which you haven't visited yet.
I haven't, not yet.
Yay, we will soon. So tell
Yay.
me, what's your number three?
I need to get over there for sure.
Yes, for sure. And there's
We gotta get something on the calendar.
industry is kind of wacky. You know, our space is kind of like Napa was maybe 20 years ago. And so you'll enjoy it. It'll remind you of what Napa was before you left for the islands.
Wow.
Yes.
Was there anything there then? I'm just kidding. It was farmland, really. And 77, I don't even know if anybody was growing grapes then. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so for my final, my history with this wine and my heart go deep and long. It's a Silver Oak 2010 Cabernet Sauvignon. It's a phenomenal bottle of wine. This is, to me, probably one of the longest lasting wines that I've ever had. I mean, the vintages are definitely, if you store it right, it can last you until, like, let's see, 2030-ish. Okay. So what I love about this wine is it's a vivacious, the color is beautiful. I wish I had it in front of me because I would drink the whole bottle right now. Cabernet, Cabernet, Cabernet. But it's again like the similar to the Franciscan and the Dariouche, very complex nose. So you've got berries for sure, a little bit of anise or licorice, and then there is a spice that I cannot pull out of my brain. So I need to get my aroma wheel out and study it. But it's absolutely one of those things that when you put it in your mouth, you have this full essence of a velvety feel in your mouth, and it is just so smooth and delightful. So for me, I actually went to another winery to pair this with, and it's a winery I hope to visit one day soon. It's a Robert Craig winery, but they have this absolutely delicious Cabernet friendly dessert, which is, again, this is a local meaning Marin County, which is where I am, Mount Tam bread pudding, and it's a black currant. It is just absolutely fabulous. It's got a sweet and savory side to it. We're going to post this delicious recipe, and thank you, Robert Craig Winery, for sharing this with us and allowing us to pair it. But it's the perfect marriage of a Cabernet wine and a great dessert, and hoping to taste the Robert Craig wines soon. silveroak.com. Fabulous wine. Most of us know about it, even if you're not into wine, so to speak, just because the name is, isn't that where Mount Helena evolved to, is Silver Oak?
Chateau Montelena from
Yeah.
Shop?
The winemaker, the guy who used to work, either used to work or own Mount Helena, started Silver Oak.
Ooh, I don't know.
Can't remember.
Yeah.
Can't remember. I'll look into it and we'll have clarification for that for you guys on the blog. But remember, National Cabernet Day coming up. Cabernet, Cabernet.
Cabernet, Cabernet. Well, I think that's a wrap. I think that you've gotten some spectacular cabs and some delicious appetizers, main courses, and desserts to try. So instead of thinking about it as Cabernet Day, let's just embrace Cabernet Week.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us. We are at Women on Wine TV on all of the social channels. If you want to have a chat with us or share your favorite Cabernet with us or recipe that goes with it, use our hashtag #WomenOnWine. And as always, we wish you delicious wine in your glass, maybe a Juliana like we have here, and just oodles of divine conversations with your loved ones. Until next time, bisous.
Bisous.